Exotic dancer who has to take it off sometimes. He says he doesn't think he's vain, he's just proud of his body because basically, Joe, when you take it off, what has to happen?
You've got to be sure of yourself.
You went further than that before. You said you have to create a scene. Is that right?
More or less.
So you think, are you at this point capable? This woman here was very excited that you were going to be here. Is it Marie, is it?
Yes.
Do you want to see him create a scene?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Could you create a scene for us?
Tonight.
Right? Oh, tonight. But you don't create a scene now.
No.
He's bashful, isn't that? That's endearing, isn't it?
Yes.
That's right. I want to ask the women, before we talk to these gentlemen about why they think they're vain and why it's necessary. Is this the kind of guy that you would like to be with?
Yeah.
It is? Yeah, okay.
No.
No? No? Why? These are good-looking guys, aren't they?
Yeah, I like my husband better.
You like, is your husband not good-looking on a par with this?
No, he's very good looking.
Uh-huh. But what is it that's different about the way he looks? And
I don't know, I can't describe it.
the specter of divorce court is what yeah.
It's a personal thing,
It's a personal thing. Well, now, those of you happen to be four men who are in a position where some degree of vanity is essential to your getting a paycheck. Isn't it true?
Very true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's how I make my living. And I don't know if it's really fair to call it vanity, because if I were a machinist or something and I needed my hands to make my living, then I'd have to make sure that, you know, my hands didn't get broken or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So would I be vain about my hands? It's not really fair to say that vanity is just something that actors and people in front of cameras are capable of being.
How much time do you guys spend, say, in front of a mirror every day?
Well, I spend a lot of time in the gym, but the mirror, I've been known to fight with my wife over the hairspray. And
Is that right?
yeah.
That's not just a natural thing that's happening up
No.
there? No?
Absolutely not.
Was your wife here? She's over, where is she?
She's
here?
right next to you.
Right, oh, right here. Oh, that's why you said you'd like one of these guys. Oh. Is that true? He fights with you over the mirror sometime? And
Yeah,
the hairspray?
I've worked with vain men before, and to me, he's not really that vain. But fighting over the mirror and the hairspray, yes.
Then what's a vain man then? Let's see how
To
common
me,
that is.
I agree with what they said about being, when you're in the kind of work where you have to use your looks, that you have to make sure that you look good. To me, a vain man is more cocky and stuck-up person. That's what I think of when I think of vain.
Yeah.
My business, you can't be that way. You've got to be sure of yourself when you're on stage. You're an entertainer. You're there to entertain the women and be sure of yourself. Off stage, you fold your suitcase up and you're
Now,
back to
Sean,
normal.
what do you mean when you say you have to compromise your look sometimes to get the job? So it's not all vanity.
Well, sometimes there are certain roles where you have to completely change your look. Particular actor that I can think of is Robert De Niro, who in I think it was Taxi or
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull as well,
Yeah.
where he put on an extra 60 to 70 pounds. You can't be afraid to modify your looks, and sometimes, you know, you're not going to look good when you do modify your looks, but you have to sort of suppress your vanity.
All right, so now what I'm wondering is, I have a chicken and the egg question here, because it's all understandable that you have to take care of how you look because of the businesses you were in. But before you made these career choices, Jason, were you doing a lot?
Yeah, the big thing, it started in high school when it became like peer pressure to, you know, you got to look good, you got to be cool, you got to be number one. And I think it starts there with everybody, and then as I moved into modeling, it became essential that I took care of myself and really made sure that I looked my best. One thing I have a problem with, though, is I happen to look in the dictionary under the definition of vanity, and they classify it as like something that's worthlessness, you know what I mean? Something exterior, just cheap.
Real superficial.
Yeah, real superficial, and I don't think that's what I would call how I perceive myself and what I do. You know what I mean? I don't think it's real superficial. I think it's essential to what my work.
Let's get to one of the central issues of this show. Who's more vain in your estimation? In general, regardless of career, men or women? You laugh
pretty
first.
controversial.
I would say, well, today it's kind of a mixed bag, because there's what I call institutionalized vanity, in the sense that you had movies come out like Wall Street, And if you notice, a lot of folks who work in corporate America, after they saw Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen with the Pat Riley look,
Yeah.
slick back hair,
Right.
you started seeing a lot of people on the buses and tees like that, changing the kind of suits they wore, the way they wore their hair.
Make sure the suspenders get in
the
you know,
suspenders,
the shot
right.
there, yeah.
Also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's more acceptable now for men to be conscious of the way they
It's
look.
more acceptable, but still women have an edge on us, right? They're still more
I don't
vain.
think so.
You don't think
I
so?
think that
No,
edge
no.
is closing.
Well,
I think
it's a lot-
equal
Gap is
or men are
closing.
more vain. It's either equal or men are more vain.
You think men are more, possibly,
Oh,
or it's equal?
easily, yeah.
Yeah.
We hide our vanity.
Yeah, I would call it equal, but I think when you're a woman, you can get away with it more because, you know, you're accepted to have to look good. You know, they can always be primping their hair, going to the bathroom to, you know, powder their nose.
And they go in groups,
and
too.
if
It's
a-
like,
yeah, and if,
every woman in the restaurant, want to come? You know, and they all go together.
and if a guy would say, "Oh, I need to go powder my nose," it would be, you know, unacceptable. It would be like, "God, that guy's so
Yeah.
vain." You know what I mean? It just
It'd be more than that, I think.
Yeah, it's less acceptable for men to be vain, I think, than women.
Let me, because this young lady here said, I was asking the audience before the show who's vain and who isn't, and you said, not only are you vain, you're wicked vain. And what does that mean?
I'm very vain.
Uh-huh.
I just care about, you know, how I look. I don't want to go out looking stupid or anything.
Uh-huh.
you
Now,
know?
what do you think vain is? And we'll get into wicked vain later, but what do you think vain is?
You know, just caring about the way you look and always in the mirror and seeing if everything looks okay.
Some of your friends with you here?
Yeah.
I want some independent verification. Is she wicked vain?
Yeah.
More vain than any of the guys you know?
That I know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she,
yeah.
everywhere that we go to the bathroom, she has to go to the bathroom and go to the mirror.
Is that right? Is that right? Now, they're being pretty fair, I think, in this whole who's more vain. It's either even or men have the edge. What do you think? Are you more vain as all of women than men ever could aspire to be?
It kind of depends on, you know, what kind of man the person is, you know?
Who's a vain guy here and proud of it? You're getting nudged.
Yeah, I guess I'm vain. Like I said, it's a mixture, like what he said. You know, with men and women, I think it's both. It goes both ways.
Mhm.
Both of us are vain. I
Well,
know.
and let's get into specifics. What part are you most concerned about? The hair, yeah, yeah.
I don't see too many people, guys these days with long hair. He does. I noticed that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like models and stuff, they don't really have that long hair, and I do, and I'm always checking it, looking at it, getting it done, and stuff like that. So I guess I am vain.
But
Yeah.
you were talking about, he asked you why you were vain, and you said because you go in the mirror and make sure that you want to look good. But to me, that's not vanity.
Who doesn't look in a mirror in the course of a day? Raise your hand if you never look in a mirror. One woman, or we've already. You're happily married, so are you? You just trust that he still likes you. You never look in the mirror at all.
I do when I get up and get dressed and get ready to go out or do what I'm going to do during the day, and that's it.
We had a woman who called and suggested that we get her fiancé in here for a makeover, for us to take a look at him and sick our panel of experts, whom you'll meet during the show at him. His name is Jay Murphy. You will meet him. You want to take a call first, do you? All right, let's go to Kevin in Newton first. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm vain. How are you? No, I'm fine.
Well, vanity is something that I've seen over the years, working with women for many, many years, and I've seen that women have capitalized constantly on the total magazine, the makeup, the type of looks that they've been trying to arrive at for many, many years, and they've done well at it. Now men, just the men of the middle to late 80s, are jumping on that bandwagon.
Uh-huh.
I can see how the men are into the hairsprays, the mousses, the gels, the haircuts.
Are you into this, Kevin?
Hello?
Are you doing all this stuff now?
I sure do. I do it. I make a living at it, and I've been doing it for 21 years now.
How much time do you spend making sure you look good before you get out of the house?
Myself?
Yeah.
I spend maybe 3 or 4 minutes, because I feel like I look very, very good.
We're doing another show about immodesty later. You might want to be back. Thank you, Kevin, for the call. I want to show you a little bit of a tape we did with Jay Murphy. He came in yesterday before his makeover. Later in the show, you'll see what we've done to him. But we posed some questions to him, chief among them, what he thinks about himself. How would he rate himself on a scale of 1 to 10? And here's what he said.
A natural man. I don't consider myself a pretty boy at all. I think that Basic. A 6 or 7, I would think. I don't know.
All right. I didn't hear much in the way of, yes, that's it. 6 or 7? What do you think? 6?
I'm not saying.
That said a lot right there. When we come back, well, a little later in the show, we'll see whether Jay's up to a 9 or a 10. And we're going to meet some people whose specialty it is making men look marvelous, because it's more important to feel good than to look good, or vice versa. We'll see you in a minute. But a bit of a fashion disaster, what can you do to salvage him? You were wondering something about our guest, were you?
Are you wearing stage makeup besides the normal makeup? Or do you wear makeup normally?
Besides normal makeup.
I mean, do you wear makeup normally, or
mean
is
right
it
now?
just stage makeup
No,
now?
there are products actually that are made. There's like, I think, eyeshadow for men, eyeliner for men, and there's, I don't know if I can mention brand names, but I mean, I don't personally use anything except lotion.
All right, let's welcome, we have with us right now Dan Garvey. Speaking of makeup and such, Dan, welcome. He is an international hairstylist, an image consultant, educator for hairstylists who knows the trend-setting men for today's fashion-conscious men. And also we have Barbara Murphy. Barbara, welcome. She's the spa director for Le Pli down in off Harvard Square, right? At the Chuck Hotel. And she's seen the increase in men getting in shape and seeking other forms of pampering over the past few years. And is this true? Are men becoming, and is vain too harsh a word?
Excuse me, I think vain is a little too harsh of a word. Men are just becoming more aware of their total look. One of the caller earlier said that that women were using makeup and taking care of their skin for many, many years, and now the male whole look is changing, where they're much more aware of their whole total look. And
let me ask though, because we have a number of it's a high school group, right? So many of you communication students. If you were going out with a guy, I want to ask the women here first, and you saw that he had makeup on, what would you think? No matter how great he looked, he had makeup on.
I wouldn't know what to think.
You're not that liberal yet about the whole idea, huh?
I guess it wouldn't bother me if it wasn't too noticeable.
Yeah, as long as his mascara wasn't better than yours. But would anybody here not mind if your guy had makeup on? If are any of you women married here? You go home and your husband's. We're widows. You're widowed?
We're widows.
Who you married?
No, not anymore.
You're not. Wouldn't you know? I know one whole row of unmarried women.
Let me clarify that the whole makeup thing, though. The male makeup isn't like women's makeup per se. There's things called bronzing creams where a gentleman just wants to put a bronzing cream on to give their skin tone a little bit darker, because they're also concerned about getting cancer from the sun and other things. There's makeup as a sense of correct skin cleanser, as a spa over here, how the correct moisturizers for their skin, basically taking care of themselves as they were working out. Men are exercising more and working out, and they're also taking care of their exterior, their skin, which is bronzing creams and so. It's not so much the eyeshadow per se.
Yeah, Sean?
I think there is, though, to a degree, some sort of vanity that's at work. I alluded to Wall Street. There are a lot of men in corporate America, and I keep alluding to that because I used to work as an editor myself, and for about 5 years. And what you saw, there were a lot of men who were getting haircuts with sharp angles to give them sharp edges, to have a certain look. They were going to the spa, working out. They were wearing a specific kind of suit, but also the vanity carried over into the car they drove.
You know what I want to do? Because I want to take a call, but then I want to take a look at some media images, because that really has a lot to do. And Barbara, I want to get a sense from you how many people walk into Le Pli wanting to look like some of the people we'll look at. Richard's in North Attleboro first, so hi, Richard. Richard. Rich.
Hello.
I thought you're at the Mirror, Richard. You're on the air now.
Okay.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes, Richard.
Hello.
Scintillating conversation.
I had to get away from the mirror for a minute.
Okay. Touche.
Well,
you're on the air now.
Thank you.
Yep. So talk to us, Richard. Bye, Richard.
Hi.
Bye. Let's take a look at some images. Yes, indeed. Live television. And Kevin Costner, first of all, who is one of the hottest actors, I think, going nowadays. And what do you think? Sexy?
Not bad.
Not bad, not bad back here. Is this a look, Barbara, that is different, or?
I think what happens a lot, men will come in and they'll say, Dan can say this, I need a haircut like Kevin Costner. And yeah, we can do the haircut, but
You
we
can't
can't
give
give
him a
you the
body.
face.
Yeah, you can't give him a body like Kevin Costner. Here's an actor who recently appeared on an NBC series, Mario Van Peebles, who was Sonny Spoon. Well, is this a trend-setting look?
I think so. Males, especially men's hair, and the males look throughout the country, it's not one certain total look anymore like it was years ago, just being very, very short. I forgot your name, but he has a ponytail in the back, which is very popular for men with longer hair, so they can pull it back and still fit inside the corporate image, or they can let the hair down.
But you can only fit inside the corporate image when you're walking towards people.
Right, but it's
you know what I mean?
But
you're walking away from them, and they see the ponytail, they go,
but
"Ooh,
a lot of
what's this
those ponytails, gentlemen, are tucking into their collar and pulling their collar up, or there's a double design line which is being cut, which is cut very short underneath, where it looks like they have short hair. So they're wearing both short and long hair, and the very short looks are very popular for the type of activity that the gentleman is in.
I want to guess, who is a look that you like on television or in the movies?
A look?
Yeah.
Long hair, I like
You
guys.
like long hair?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that we have anybody here in this list who really has long hair. You were mentioning before how rare that is.
Also, one thing we're talking about media images. It's kind of like a double standard that's going on, because when you pay your $6 to see a movie, if you're going to see like Tom Cruise or something, and you go see Tom Cruise and he weighs 450 pounds,
right,
you're going to feel cheated. So on one end of the spectrum,
getting a lot more Tom Cruise for your $6.
yeah, but you know, you criticize people for being vain, but then if you pay your money and they don't look like you want them to look, then you feel a little bit cheated.
Let's shoot ahead in this list of Tom Selleck from Magnum P.I. and 3 Men and a Baby. I'm wondering if this is a look that is now passé, if he was sort of the ideal male image for the 70s, but whether or not that. Barbara, what do you think?
Well, I think women still find that very attractive. Every woman has their own idea of what they find attractive. I mean, it's clean cut, it's a good look. Back to what he was talking about, corporate men in corporations or in business, they're the men that are coming into the spa, having the manicures, having the haircuts, having the massages, the facials.
More concerned about their looks than
right,
women?
because they have to do presentations, they have to meet people. So it's very important that their looks, besides having a nice toned body, but their nails are nice, their skin's nice.
The whole shoot.
And the big word, I think, is the look. I mean, men are, when we're saying a particular haircut or a hairstyle, men are concerned about their total look. Men are coming into, we do over 1 million haircuts a month throughout the country in the Supercut system, and 60% of them are men. So if they are coming in looking for and asking, will this haircut really look good on me, and not so much as this is a great haircut. And
let's go to Ed in Wellesley. Hi, Ed. You're on the air, Ed.
Hi, Tom.
Hi. Go ahead.
I think you got the wrong word and the wrong connotation of vain and vanity for men.
Why is that?
Well, what's the matter with a man wanting to look good, look proper, be dressed nice? That doesn't mean he's vain or superficial or anything. And one of the problems is most of the guys don't know how to dress.
Sorry. How's that? How are they doing it wrong, Ed?
Well, I'll give an example. They'll wear a dress suit, not a 3-piece business suit, but a dressy suit with a button-down collar and a Windsor knot.
Okay. Ed, you make a point. You were ragging on him before. Stand up, if you would, the two of you. Fine examples of fashion here we have with us. No, you too. You were the one giving him a hard time. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone, huh? Now, you were giving him a hard time about the way he was dressed.
Sure.
Why?
Well, he's got no style. I mean, he buys half of his clothes at a concert. I mean, look, it's all his clothes have pictures on them. He doesn't have solids or stripes or anything.
I don't like the Oxford look, the shirts tuck in,
That's because it's slob.
It's just the way I dress. I don't wear cords or slacks. I just wear jeans. T-shirts. That's all I wear. T-shirts or sweatshirts.
All right, we're going to see, all his clothes have pictures on them. We're going to see how Jay looks, our makeover candidate, and more about whether men are more vain than women. So it seems like a horse race right now when we come back. me and says you never have gotten a facial before, huh, Mike?
No, I haven't, Tom.
So you're sort of boldly going where you've never gone before here.
This is going to be an interesting experience.
All right, all right. Are you, how would you, because you work pretty much in the clothes we're seeing you here around the building, and I don't have a sense of you as being a vain individual. Would you?
No, I'm not. I'm just your everyday down-to-earth guy. And I wake up in the morning, I take a shower, I shave, and I make sure my hair's short. That's really about it.
Like it suddenly grow long overnight or something like that. Ursula, what are you going to do to poor Mike here?
Well, I'm trying to give you the idea how wonderful a facial could be.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, we don't have the time to do it. It usually incorporates a full hour. But what I would like to do today is just do a cleansing and then go right into the massage, which is highly appreciated by the male clients we have at the spa.
All right. Give us a sense then of what Mike's in store for. And you're getting more men into
yes,
this?
we get more and more men, and like you said in the beginning, I think it's a little bit unfair calling it vain.
Yeah.
Men have discovered the feeling of well-being.
Let me just, if you don't mind, just so we can hear him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hear those little expressions of ecstasy so we
All
can
right.
get, when he's going, ooh, ah.
So what I usually would have done, I would have cleansed his face with an emulsion and a toner, and what we do after that, we go right into a massage, and I think this is the most impressive and the most well-liked feeling, and that's what I would like to do right now.
I do want to remind you, Jay is coming out. He's our makeover man. He'll be out in just a few minutes to see how. Okay.
This is the massage cream, and the massage is usually 15 to 20 minutes and incorporates neck, shoulders, and the face. And I start right now with the face. Close your eyes.
How you feel, Mike?
Comfortable.
A little greasy, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, you need that cream in order to have the lubrication, and so you can really have those wonderful flowing movements which you need in the massage. And men usually, not always, but usually fall asleep, and afterwards they say, oh, you did a great job, even though they had a great nap, but you know, they're polite.
Great stress releaser.
Yes. Do you talk to people when you're massaging their faces like that?
No, usually by that time you have made all the introduction, little small talk, and they feel that they're going to really relax the minute you start doing your massage.
When's the last time you had a woman taking this much care on your face, Mike?
Not for a while.
Yeah, what were you saying over here? Our wicked vain friend over here. What were you saying? No, what were you saying to her about what you're seeing here?
Oh, just his face looks wicked greasy.
So how long with this? What's the next step after this?
The next step after this would be that you take off the massage cream, and it would be following by a deep pore cleansing if it's necessary. And after that you apply a mask according to the skin type.
Yeah, yeah.
This is, in Europe, European men have been having facials and going to spas for a long time. It's just that, you know, the American macho type feeling of the American cowboy, how the America was overtaken by the cowboy.
Well, now they're
we're starting
weathered
to
look.
find, that's right, John Wayne.
That's right.
And
roadmap
they're
face,
starting to
kinda.
take care, they're starting to be more concerned about taking care of themselves and how they look. You know, women has dressed for themselves and for men for years, and men are starting to dress for themselves and women, or how they look, or you know, excuse me, how they, my tongue got tied there for a second, but how they, you know, look for the opposite sex.
Is Mike napping? Are you now napping, Mike? Is that what?
I'm very relaxed. She's very good. She.
Thank you. Come and see
I can
me.
tell she's an artist, really.
You can tell she's an artist?
Yeah, I can tell that she's very expertise with her hands and everything. You know, the way she's.
Now, are these some of the items here that would be used in this type of treatment, Barbara?
Not for the facial, but this is the type of oil that we use for a massage, and this is a dry brushing. A lot of the treatments that we have
What's
body
this?
wraps.
Sounds like something the Marquis de Sade created. Oh,
And you just do a dry brushing, and it takes all the dead skin cells off the body before
Would you do that over the whole body?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's my show. I can do it.
We
All right,
have
yeah.
a seaweed brush in town. We do the
Is
brushing.
that skin going off
Yeah,
here?
it's like
Good
it.
heavens.
Well, you got to get
And what
rid
do
of that dead skin stuff.
Yeah. What's the back here? What's that? Dude?
It's a heart of plastic. We don't use that because it's just too
You
hard.
just
It's
scare
more
your
of a
clients with
massage,
that. Yeah.
We don't want to scare
Yeah,
anyone.
you know what I find amusing is all this stuff that we're talking about now, pampering. I mean, that dates back, you know, centuries ago to the kings. I mean, you always envision the kings with the grapes and the fans, and
Right.
they go to the ancient Romans going in and taking their saunas, the ancient Roman men, and taking their saunas and being pampered. And I mean, I think it's something that relates, you know, back a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that comes up just now.
And plus the value of massage. I mean, just having your face touched. I know sometimes when I do shoots, I only go to makeup just to have my face massaged because it's just the greatest thing in the world.
Are you having facials? You go to facials regularly?
And I've taken one facial and it was amazing.
Why did you stop?
I forgot.
We're gonna stop for a second. When we come back, Jay will be out with us, whom you saw earlier, and we'll see what changes have been made in his makeover in a minute.
The new BZ expanded traffic network is great. You know, 10 or 15 minutes and it's always right there, which is great because the traffic situation in Boston can change that quickly.
Yeah, it used to be only Joe Green, and now there's more reporters and they supplement what he does, but he's the name in traffic, and BZ has the best traffic team around.
As long as I've listened to the station, Joe Green's been up there in his green machine flying around telling me where to go or where not to go.
I know he always tells me where to go. The BZ Traffic Network tells you where to go. WBZ Radio.
Andy Johnson has been drinking Belmont Springs water for 87 years. His son Robert has been drinking Belmont Springs for 58 years. And his son Will has been drinking Belmont Springs water for 34 years. Generation after generation for more than 100 years, New England families have trusted pure Belmont Springs water. Belmont Springs is tested daily to ensure the highest standards of purity. It's salt-free, and we offer free delivery to your door. Now, new customers can get 2 free bottles of Belmont Springs water, plus 1 month's free water cooler rental. To order, call 1-800-235-PURE. That's 1-800-235-PURE. And by the way, Andy Johnson's great-granddaughter Jessica has been drinking Belmont Springs for 6 months now. Belmont Springs water, trusted in New England for over 100 years.
Yo, Al, there's too much food in these Encore frozen entrees.
You win the lottery and you're still complaining?
Waste not, want not. We can't finish these huge heaping helpings of delicious Encore lasagna or veal parmesan.
But Encore's a 2-pound family-size entree.
Well, a family is one thing you can never buy.
Yes, you can. Mine will be over tonight at 6.
Hey, Al, I'm a confirmed bachelor. I can't finish this
Let's
Encore.
confirm 6:30 tomorrow night.
When you want more, it's Encore.
All right. Whoa, that's whoa! Almost got nailed by that "flying people are talking" sign. Let's take a look at Jay Murphy as he appeared earlier in the show when he rated himself on a scale of 1 to 10 at about a 6 or a 7. Is what Jay said. They're sitting there at about a 6 or a 7. And here is, could we have a full shot of him too? Now there he is right there. How about a hand for Jay Murphy? Now, Jay, apart from the color scheme, what's different? What did they do to you, and who did it?
Dan cut my hair.
Yeah.
In the green room.
Yeah.
About an hour ago. Shaped it a little bit on the sides and cut it a little bit shorter in the back.
Yeah.
It feels very nice. Very, very comfortable.
And we also put a little bit of color in it. If you notice, he doesn't have as much gray in his hair now that he did earlier.
Can we go back to that before shot? Because I didn't, in all honesty, I'm getting some gray myself. It's not showing up on camera as much yet, but I don't see it that
He
much.
was about 35–40% gray.
Really?
Yeah. And,
oh yeah. Now you can.
And then we put a little bit of color in to kind of wash out his gray. It'll stay in for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Was this something you would have done on your own, do you think?
Well, I would have done it on my own. My fiance was not too happy.
She's the
about
one
it.
who put you up to this, though, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she is.
Called us up and said, have I got the guy for you?
That's right.
So now, a 6 or a 7, you think? That's
Well, risking embarrassment, yes, I think that
I'd give him an
6 or
8.
7.
You give him an 8?
Thank you, Bob.
That's great.
Do you think you'd up that ante a little bit now, or what?
That's not for me to say, Tom.
All right. Who had I want to get some questions from the audience here. Go ahead.
It's funny, like 5 or 10 years ago, all guys needed was, a bottle of shampoo and some, toothpaste. And now, it's like a multi-million-dollar business now. Everybody's going out,
That's right. Now we're getting the same kind of pressure that women have had to endure for what?
Yeah,
Years and years.
they're coming back from the supermarket with these huge bagfuls. It's like, oh, you get a loaf of bread? No, I got, cheese, mousse, and all that.
Now, are you into this kind of stuff?
No,
or?
not at all.
No. Now, what do you think about guys who are reasonably into it?
I don't know, everybody's using that mousse and stuff like that and spiking their hair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get into that. I just kind of stick with
Okay. All right. Who else? Who else over here? Yeah. Back here. Some of our guys are getting into this now. Yeah.
Do any of you guys try to model yourself after TV stars, movie stars?
I personally, I like to think I don't. I like to think that I can just be who I am, and then people would want to be like that. But there are some stars that I really idolize. Johnny Depp, he's a good
on
young
21
actor.
Jump Street,
21 Jump
yeah,
Street.
Fox Network.
Some of the older guys like in L.A. Law, Victor Cifuentes, guys like that are real distinguished looking. I look up to. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, all guys with a good head of hair. Like
Yeah.
you got a good head of hair. What if, Barbara, Dan, what if somebody's thinning, balding, and doesn't want to go down, knock on Cy Sperling's door?
Then
What?
there comes the vanity, because for women it might be overweight or cellulite
Right.
that the big problems, but as soon as men their hair starts thinning or they start going balding, then they come into the spot, help!
This is the key Achilles heel of vanity for men, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it sure is. It sure is. And when a man comes in to have his hair cut and his hair styled, the first thing he asks, one of the first questions he asks is if he sees 4 or 5 pieces of hair come out in the brush at home is, my God, am I losing my hair? Or how do I keep this bald spot covered? Or do you have any kind of miracle treatment to make the hair grow back again? Worst thing we try to do, first, one of the things we try to correct are these guys with the hair that, they comb from the back or wrap it around the top to cover their bald spot, and then when the wind blows, they get this one long piece of hair hanging down into it. That's the worst thing for them to do. So there's great hair pieces out there today, which more and more men are using, and there's really not a solid cure for baldness at this point in time.
Now, I'm made to understand here that you're going to do something with
Yeah,
Jay's
just
hair.
what gentleman was talking about mousses and gels and so on and so forth. Men are looking for variety in their hairstyles today, and what we did here, his right now is it's a wet look and it's kind of crispy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard, but this is a look that is very popular in businessmen and it can be used, but with the products that we have today,
Carefully your microphone.
Yep,
All right.
I won't fall off. No, I'm wireless.
Good,
so.
okay.
With the products that we use today, all he has to do is just brush through his hair, and he changes his whole different look, and the products are all natural. They're not sticky, they're not brittle, they don't flake anymore, and men can change his whole total look from a wet look to a dry look and have a whole different hairstyle in just a couple seconds. And what we do, they use finishing sprays and not necessarily hairsprays, and now he has from a wet look to a dry look in seconds, and if he just wets his hair again with his fingers, he's able to now have the wet look again without adding any more product.
How's that feel, Jay?
Excellent.
So now he has a whole
Good.
different
Okay,
look
over here.
in seconds of time.
Do you do any of this to make yourself look older or younger, or does it matter?
I keep a mustache.
To look older?
Yeah, to look older, because without it, a lot of what I do to make my living, I would probably look maybe too young for.
Anybody else? Are you concerned?
I do changes simply because of the business that I am in different parts of the state, in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
I have to go to, and we're just talking about wear. I don't need to wear glasses, but men today who wear contacts, more contacts, or men who don't wear glasses, they use it as fashion accessories. So when I'm in different parts of the country, if I'm doing a different seminar, I put my glasses on, which has a whole different look.
Isn't there an old saying, women don't make passes at guys who wear glasses, or is that vice versa?
Well, today the glasses are an image type thing. When I do more talk to more of a
So you
business
don't
type
need those
crowd.
at all? That
No,
doesn't
they're
just-
just clear
They
glass.
sell them in all the major department stores for both men and women.
I see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't really think a guy needs all this material. I mean, the guy's either good looking like myself or you're not, you know?
Okay, then let's go back to about women. Women need it for you then. Starting off.
I don't think there's a woman who could not be swayed by this hat. You know? Not at all.
Yeah, and that's a real good point. Like, you go out and if you see a very attractive woman and she happens to have her hair done really nice and she's dressed really nice and her makeup looks great and she's just looking great, a woman looks at the man the same way. They're looking at the content. That's right.
I mean, it does make a difference, right? Ladies, it does. If you see someone who's well presented, not to say the hat isn't a lovely touch, but it would make a difference. Yeah, you had a question.
Yeah, I was wondering, now that you've been changing everything, are you comfortable with the way you look? Is it
very comfortable? As a matter of fact, you feel a little bit more responsible for your presence, which isn't a bad thing. It's a very positive thing. I think that I would carry myself a little bit more professionally, a little bit more polished in that way.
I want to ask when we come back, we'll get another question from you, also the women in the audience and at home to call in. If you would like your man better if he was more like what you're seeing or just the way he is now, no change is necessary. When we come back.
Is your neighbor a spy? Since today's spies are motivated by greed instead of patriotism, see how there could be spies in your own community on Evening Magazine tonight at 7:30.
Recently, when I became deathly ill, I was able to summon an ambulance, my next-door neighbor, my family, and my doctor without picking up a telephone. I used this remote control to contact LifeCall, my 24-hour emergency medical response service. Watch. You just press this button and speak into the air and...
I'm having chest pain.
I'm calling paramedics and your family, Mr. Miller.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
We're sending help immediately, Mrs. Fletcher.
See? Protect yourself with LifeCall, and you're never alone. To get complete free information by mail about this affordable medical emergency response system, call toll-free now. LifeCall can save your life, so call to get free details by mail right away.
For free information about LifeCall, call 1-800-492-8800. That's 1-800-492-8800.
This may seem like the set of a Hollywood movie,
but in the movies, things are not always quite what they seem. Because the golden age of Hollywood has come to Walt Disney World with the new Disney MGM Studios theme park. And if you've ever wondered how they pull off those amazing tricks, this is the show for you.
So join us along with Joyce Haywick for a behind-the-scenes and behind-the-screens look at Mickey's Movie Magic, live from Walt Disney World in Florida, May 5th at 7:30 on WBZ TV4.
Dummy. You're pathetic. You little brat.
Child abuse is also known by some other words.
Jerk. You moron. You're so clumsy.
Words like these can hit as hard as a fist.
You were never born. I hate you.
What you say to your children can determine how they feel about themselves.
You slob. You're worthless.
And how they feel about you. Get the picture. Stop using words that hurt. Start using words that help. For helpful information, contact us.
Of high school students here who are all looking to have broadcasting careers, but we're doing a show in the next couple of weeks where you could be reunited with your high school sweetheart. It would have less impact on you because you're already traveling with them in most cases, but you've got to be single, divorced, or widowed. We don't want to be party to any seedy affairs here, but if you're interested in a romantic reunion with your high school sweetheart, all you have to do, and of course it'll be on the air, all you have to do is let us know and we'll put our detective team to work for you. So if you are either single, divorced, or widowed, and you've always wondered what happened to the person who might have been your first love, here's a number to call. 787-787-7109. I'll repeat it again because it's not magically appearing. 787-7109 if you would like to be reunited with your high school sweetheart. You had a question, did you, or comment from? Who was it? Oh, over here, I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask the gentleman who's doing the hair, are beards in right now or out, or there are men who have in and out things now?
Yeah.
Facial hair is one of them.
you know, beards are still very fashionable throughout the country. It's just that they're much cut very short and cropped. The look of the 5 o'clock shadow is really out, where we've seen the past couple of years, where Don Johnson made very popular, where, you know, was 5 o'clock not quite shaved. And that's starting to go out, but still very, very close trimmed beards. And it's one of the things that we can do to alter man's facial features, where if they have a very large jaw, or if their chin is too small, with a beard we can correct those things.
All right, so what about, if we have a picture here of Michael Jackson, here is an entertainer who has gone to the plastic surgeon more times than seems humanly possible. I think he and LaToya are the same person. I think that's been bandied about a lot. But is this an increasing vehicle for many men? Are they going to this?
Surgery?
Yeah.
Well, from watching other talk shows, it seems to me that a lot of men are opting for plastic surgery. Personally, I don't see anything against it. I wouldn't have it done myself, but I don't think.
Well, you probably don't need it either.
Yeah, but I think there's a line that has to be drawn about how far you want to go. I mean, makeup for men. Okay, I personally don't, but it wouldn't bother me. But when you start altering how you look, you know what I mean, like how you were born, it seems it just seems too much. It seems like you crossed the line.
All right, but let's face it, you're fortunate enough to be, and I think most of the women here would agree, a reasonably good-looking guy. So you weren't born with something that you consider to be a negative factor.
Yeah, right? But I mean, looks are just what God gives you. You know what I mean? When you're born, looks are how you're going to end up, right? And it's too bad people can go by more by
if your nose was sticking out to here,
right?
Would you be saying that?
Well, I would hope that I'd just, you know, be a better person, and I'd just be liked for who I was.
And you wanted to be a model.
Well, I wouldn't want to be a model. That wouldn't be my profession.
Because your nose would be sticking out.
My nose would be sticking out to there. I'd hit the camera.
I think he's talking about an ideal.
He'd be a little wooden puppet. That's probably true.
I think he's talking about an ideal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in society, we don't treat people like that. If their noses are broad, if their lips are too large, I mean, we can get into things of racial stereotypes. We're not that open-minded as a society.
That's right, true. And like what Jay was saying about
that's plastic surgery. Is, you know, maybe a bizarre option, but it's what we forced on our society.
I'd like to ask a question of the folks down here. What is the new black aesthetic in America today in terms of haircuts, facial looks, clothing, things of that nature?
Okay, in hair, in the black market for hair, the black male is getting their hair permed or straightened more than they ever did before, as the black female gets their hair permed and straightened. To have that soft wave type look where they're able to have their hair longer without having it very curly. And it's becoming very, very strong. I just worked with a gentleman, Floyd Kenyatta, who is considered the best black artist in the world. And men's black male hair is becoming more permed and longer. And if it's short, it's not as curly, where they can put those nice waves pattern into their hair.
Is it really still
No,
oily?
they're going to more of a professional product with without those real glycerins and so on. So the hair is looking much more natural, but the black hair needs a little bit of oil in it because their scalp and hair is so dry and so brittle and so delicate. So there's jojoba oil being used instead of poly.
Right, over here, yeah.
Are you worried about your looks changing when you get older?
No.
Are you, Tom?
No, I'm not worried. How about you guys?
I think I have a young-looking face, so I can stay in my type of business for a good number of years.
But it's not the face that may go.
Oh, the body.
You know what? At
It gets
30,
harder, believe me.
the thing that was scary, I had an uncle of mine and my father said, you wait at 30. And darned if it was almost like the calendar page turned and I had love handles. The next morning.
It's a lot harder to keep
I
as you
find
get
that
older.
the age that comes to the spa is over 30.
Yeah, well, I got to admit, I mean, that keyed in some vanity in me when all of a sudden it started, you know.
I can't get anything you want anymore without
That's right,
paying
that's
for
right.
it.
I do want to, because we've been talking about you, Jay, from the neck up, and your clothing is certainly different, too. How do you feel in this color scheme here?
Yellow throughout my life has been my favorite color.
Is
and
that
this
right?
is what they chose.
Because you look like you're ready to go boating. Could you stand up just for a sec so we can get a full shot? And I do want to thank Natalie's clothing store on Main Street in Braintree, Massachusetts for Jay's outfit. Do you have to give this all back to them after?
No, as a matter of fact, they're going to give it to me.
Oh, what a deal. All
Yeah,
right,
very nice.
all right. Well, thank you. How about a hand for Jay for putting himself through all this? By the way, I should mention we didn't make Jay shorter. That's just the way that looked in there. Barbara.
And the flea would like to top Jay's makeover with a facial.
Oh,
very nice.
And you may have Ursula if you'd like.
For a facial?
There. Who else had a question over here? Where else? Over here? No? Are you seeing guys now, though, the images of guys that you would like your guys to be more like? Can I ask the teacher this without getting her teeth?
I see so many images every day in the high school, and they change daily, depending on who they're dating, who they're impressing.
How long have you been teaching?
I've been at North for 3.5 years.
And have you seen, are the guys in school, the students, really preening themselves a bit more, you think?
I think that girls and guys care more about their appearance than maybe 15 or 20 years ago in the high schools. You know, when they were burning bras in that stage, everybody didn't seem to care so much. They almost went to that point. It was deliberate. It was deliberate.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have a very special week planned. Next week, we're going to be broadcasting live for part of it from Walt Disney World in Orlando. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And we're going to tell you more about the Mickey's Movie Magic Contest and why you should get your entry in very soon when we come back.
The next time your house needs repainting, the choice is yours. You can try and save money by doing it yourself, scraping and painting away all your free time. You can hire a professional to do it and then have him keep coming back every few years. Or you can make the exterior of your home virtually maintenance-free by calling Sears now at this toll-free number. You see, siding from Sears stands up to summer's heat and winter's damp and chill to keep your house looking great year after year without the bother and expense of frequent repainting.
And here's great news. Right now, siding from Sears is 10% off the regular price.
Most wood-sided or trimmed houses require painting every 3 to 4 years at increasing costs, but solid vinyl siding from Sears is tested to assure long-lasting performance. Look, you can pound on it with a hammer. It won't dent. You can grind on it with sandpaper. It won't scratch and the color won't rub off. Through blistering summers and brutal winters, year after year, siding from Sears is the logical choice for your home. Best of all, because your siding is from Sears, you can be sure that Sears will continue to stand behind the quality and workmanship of every job. You can trust your home to Sears. Just call this number now for a free in-home estimate, and Sears will take care of the rest. We'll help you select siding that's just right for your home, provide quality, professional installation, and even show you convenient credit plans sure to fit almost any budget. So the choice is yours, to face the bother and expense of repainting every few years, or have the convenience, beauty, and satisfaction of siding from Sears.
Call 1-800-847-8700 now to arrange for a free in-home estimate. Remember, if you act now, you'll save 10% on siding from Sears. Your home will look great for years to come, and you won't have to worry about the hassle and expense of frequent repainting. So make the right choice. Call 1-800-847-8700 today and take advantage of 10% savings on siding from Sears, where you always get your money's worth and a whole lot more. Don't delay. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-847-8700 now.
All last week on both Dave Maynard's radio show on BZ Radio and on People Are Talking, while I was on vacation, you got rhyming clues, rhyming questions that were part of Mickey's Movie Magic Contest. I'm trusting you got all the answers down now. And you should have your entry in the mail to us because they have to be postmarked by Friday, April 28th, in order to be eligible for a prize package that includes a trip for 4 to Walt Disney World to see the place we'll be broadcasting live from next week, which is the new Disney MGM Studios theme park. We're going to take you behind the scenes on a special Friday night, May 5th, called Mickey's Movie Magic, and show you how movies are made. And if you want to be traveling down there as our guest, you have to get your contest entries in the mail by Friday. They have to be postmarked by Friday, April 28th. Then, next week, in addition to the drawing of that prize package on the special on People Are Talking, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, we'll be drawing an additional prize package, and if you're the correct caller that time, you can win. So a lot going on next week when we're down in Orlando, and I think we have no seats available in the audience until the week we come back, May 8th, but you can call 787-7109 to join us here back in Boston when we come back. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask the guy in the jeans, what
The guy in the jeans. That's you, James.
What magazines has he modeled for?
What magazines have I modeled for?
Yes.
Local Boston magazines. Nothing big yet, nothing GQ or anything. Hopefully, though. You know, I'm always trying, so we'll see.
What would be the pinnacle for the four of you, all of whom we've acknowledged have to look good? What would be the pinnacle of your careers, do you think? Would it be that GQ spread?
Yeah, something, you know, maybe Calvin Klein ad or something, you know, something that I could be remembered by.
Joe?
I've really done what I've wanted to do in this type of business. You can only go so far. I want to head into another career soon.
All right, and Barbara, a closing word here. Basically, where do you think vanity is going? Is it a more even thing?
Well, I would say that men should forget about the peer pressure.